Alright, you guys. I'm gonna officially start. I hope you've been enjoying the music that's been playing. I've made all of it. But anywho, let's get started. So, in order to draw a butt, it's really simple. What I'd like to do though, if I'm going to draw the whole body, but have the butt muscles be the focal point, I usually start with the whole torso. Like, starting with the torso is never a bad thing. And as you can see, I'm using a reference. Now, what I could tell from this reference, this person has really nice curvature, which usually means it's going to be actually difficult for me to replicate. But I could also use the lighting to my advantage, the lighting of the photo, to help me to kind of make out what I need to see. So here I'm drawing the torso very loosely and with light pressure on my tablet pen, because I found that if I'm going to go off reference, you need a light touch. So in case you see any mistakes you made in your drawing, you can quickly fix them. I'm going to draw in some of the arm muscles, well, the shoulder muscles, because that'll also help me. Now see, a mistake I'm already noticing is that I need the shoulders wide enough, just so the lower portion of his body doesn't feel so like, what the fuck. And this is all before I even draw the butt. You need a good foundation of the body to draw a really nice butt. And that's facts. I'm gonna draw in some shapes. And don't forget, like, it's always nice to erase. Erasing is like your best friend. I know I get frustrated sometimes when I erase, because it's like, I shouldn't have to do this, I should just be able to do it, but reality of the situation is that, bitch, if you can't do it, erase and start over. It's always best to keep trying when you don't get something, because eventually you will. Now you're going to be pressed when you realize that the thing that you're doing wrong was so easy to fix. But still, it'll be almost like, yeah, I'm pissed that it took me this long to get it, but you'll be proud of yourself afterwards. Now the hands, we're not really focused on the hands, so I'm just kind of doing some makeshift-ass perspective on the hands. Just so the audience know that it's hands, but like, I don't give a fuck, because that's not the focal point. The focal point is the ass. You want to see all that ass. You want to see what? All that ass. Alright. Now, mind you, this does not have to be exact. It really doesn't. If you're trying to go for exactness, by all means go for it, but like, you don't have to. See, I'm loosely building up on the lines that I drew, because I'm correcting. No, I won't be correcting these lines. I won't be erasing and, like, defining these lines, because this is just a tutorial. I'm not producing a finished piece. This is a study for myself, really, rather. And some tips for you guys. I'm just getting the base down so I can really dive in deep into what I really want to talk about, which is ass. Now, let's get to the ass portion, since I finished the torso. Oh, and by the way, this is for all the bitches that said I just, trace. Bitch, I've been doing art. Bitch, I've been doing this. I know how to use a reference. I know how to use a reference well. I know how to trace to my benefit, not just to fool people. I know how to paint. I know how to do a bunch of shit that you bitches would be surprised about. But the way I draw, I don't need to display all my talents. I enjoy having a cartoony style, a semi-cartoony style. But if you hoes claim that I can't draw, I got something for that ass. I know how to do realism and all that shit, so don't try me. I might just fuck around and do a whole painting tutorial for you hoes. Alright, now let's focus. Rant over. I'm going to loosely get the thighs in, because it'll help me place the ass. You always want to make sure you have a good foundation in the thighs. Oh, guys, thighs are the foundation of the planet. You can't hold the world up without big thighs. Now, I sometimes like to exaggerate the thighs, because it's fun. It's really fun to exaggerate sometimes. Now, if I feel like something's not looking right, whoop, brush too big. If I feel like something's not looking right, as I do now, I just kind of pull back some of the sketch lines I did and figure out what I did wrong. Now, I think what's confusing me is the torso line I made to represent some of the pelvis. I think I could get rid of that now, because I think that might be that might be the thing that's confusing me. And plus, I'm noticing that I'm deviating from the reference photo, which is actually fine. There's actually nothing wrong with deviating from the reference. It's actually better that you do that, because you could either A, if you're trying to go for an exact replica of it, you can see what mistakes you made, or B, if you were just using it to help aid you in muscle memory, it helps you kind of give you some originality to your piece, while still keeping the same energy of the piece that you're referencing, well, the artwork or photo that you're referencing. Now, a lot of things when it comes to how things look or how chiseled certain things look, It comes down to shadows and values. Now, I won't be shading this picture, but a lot of the times, things look more emphasized in different lighting. So, you have to keep that in mind. I shade pretty flat, but I still try to keep curvatures of my cell shading in line with the contours of the body, so it'll look like it's still in a 3D space in 3D form. What I like to do sometimes is soften these hatch lines up with like a water brush, just to soften them up. This is more from when I want to do like more traditional looking artwork. And then I would take the eraser, turn the density down, feather the edge of the brush, and remove some of that shadow. Adjust the size if you need to, because that also affects the realism. Now you see how it's slowly coming together? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for a very nice sculpted ass. So, guys, let me tell you about the shit that I discovered. So, I used to have a Wacom tablet, and it had a whole bunch of buttons on it. I didn't have the Cintiq. I had the... Damn it, I forgot what it's called. But, like, I had one of the... It was like a step down from a Cintiq. It wasn't a screen tablet, but it was pretty good. It was a really good tablet. And it had a whole bunch of buttons that I never used. I just never saw the use of buttons. Well, that tablet broke years ago, and I've been using a Huion tablet. And you know what, bitch? I'm not even mad at the Huion tablet. Now, of course, it do sometimes have driver issues, but I only it's it's minimal for me. I usually have like an issue every so often, but it's not like so bad where I had to keep reinstalling it. It's very rare, actually. It's very rare when I have issues with my tablet. And it has buttons. And again, same with the Wacom. I was just like, bitch, what the fuck I'm gonna use buttons for? I don't need them. But bitch, recently I discovered buttons and how useful they are. Bitch, let me tell you. When I tell you undoing a mistake I did has become so much easier because of buttons now. Mistakes have become so much easier because I've discovered buttons, bitch. I can't believe I was such a non-believer of tablet buttons. Bitch, it's useful. And I encourage everyone to, when they're doing studies or learning how to draw for the first time, take advantage of your tablet buttons. Bitch, it will save you a lot of time and grief later. I promise you. Otherwise, you'll just be like me, just doing shit the hard way. Which I don't mind. I actually like doing shit the hard way. It's fun. It makes me appreciate things a bit more. Now, I think I am going to draw the legs in fully. Because I feel like the legs really add something to this. Especially with the model's curvature. I'm just like, I need to draw it. It adds to the assness, if that even makes any sense. It doesn't. But you hoes get what I mean. It adds to the assness. Now I'm adding some indications of some shadows to help me indicate some stuff. Basically, when I add in shadows, it's basically like a sticky note for me. It reminds me, hey bitch, there's form here. Remember where this curvature goes when you draw it. And it most definitely does help. Now, this leg, I feel like it's going to give me a little bit of trouble drawing legs in this pose. Or in its angle, drawing legs at this angle. I don't know why it's this particular angle I have trouble with, but I always have trouble drawing this angle. And it irks my entire soul. And remember, I have to remind you, always use a steady hand and a soft hand when you're doing studies like this. Because in the end, you don't want to have thick-ass lines and you just put all this extra work and unnecessary detail to your piece for no reason. There's no reason for it, first of all. You're trying to get the form down, not make it look pretty. Of course, there's always the thing where you need to have necessary shadows and what have you. But it's not necessary for you to be learned. Unless you're going for all around just study, just keep it simple to the form and basic shadows. Not to say you can't dress it up a little bit. You can. Just make sure that your priorities are straight when you're drawing. And don't be afraid to erase some of your hard work. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And as you can see, I just sculpted an ass. I just sculpted an ass. And the ass looks magnificent, if I do say so myself. I mean, look at that. Look at that! Now, people like to forget that there's muscles right here. The ones I'm drawing right now. Yeah, there's muscles right here. I even forget sometimes. Now, I don't know what this muscle is called, but it's there. So just remember. Remember those muscles, bitch. Now I'm gonna go around and add some just basic shadows. Because I feel like the piece needs it. I'm low-key being a hypocrite because I just told you guys to just do the basic shadowing, like basic values. But bitch, I can't help myself. I just want this ass to look great. Remember, size of your brush matters too. No, if it seems like I'm not talking much, it's just how I draw. Like, sometimes I get, like, really, like, deep into a drawing that I'll forget that I'm even, like, doing stuff, so. If I'm silent, just be patient with me. I'll start conversing again. It'll just take me a second before I realize, oh, bitch, I'm on stream. So, you know, you know, just give me a moment. I got y'all. I didn't forget about y'all. I just be so in tuned with the drawing that I forget sometimes. And yes, just as a reminder, I didn't make all this music. Because I told myself once I started making YouTube videos, I am not going to get copyright strikes. I'm just not that girl. And I'll never be that girl to get copyright strikes. It just ain't going down like that. So see, I just like lost myself in the drawing again. But see, here we go. We're pretty much almost done. I'm just doing some shading, which I told you guys not to do, but like, bitch, if you can't help it like me, go ahead and do it, I guess. Now, I'm gonna go back in with the eraser in a second and just clean up some of this. Because we don't want a messy picture, no. We don't want messy pictures like we don't want messy bottoms. We just don't want that. Welcome, Candy Coated Disaster. Thank you so much. Feel free to stalk. I do the same thing with artists I like, so feel free to do that. I'm completely fine with that. So yeah, this is basically how you draw a butt. Yes, that ass. That ass. Now, I'm kind of a huge muscle freak. I love guys that are just like huge like this, so I'm spending a little bit too much time while defining him. But bitch, I can't help it. Shout out to all my trans men and women. I'm bi gender myself, so bitch, I get it. I kinda get it. I'm not gonna say I get it. I kinda get it. I wonder why I don't draw in this style more often. I should really draw in this style more often. Because I know how to do it. I know how to do it well. I just don't... But see, the thing is that it could take a lot of time depending on what you're trying to draw. Trying to do this type of style. This more leading on realistic style. I just prefer my cartoony style. Maybe I should jump out my comfort zone for a little while and just do stuff like this. No, remember what I said about values? This is where it really comes in. Because adding the darker darks of everything really does help, like, bring the form together. Well, now hold on now. It's okay to do like outrageous proportions, but it has to look like you know what you're doing. Now, I love me some over the top proportions, especially when it comes to the male anatomy. But I also have to keep in mind that certain shit has to, like, I have to, like, keep it balanced. Like, things could be bigger, but I have to also remember it's all about balance too. Yes, go for it. I love looking at other. Oh, you know what? I think I just realized who you are. You follow me on Twitter, don't you? I've seen some of your artwork on Twitter. If I think you're the person who I think you are. But yes, link me that DeviantArt. Oh, never mind. I'm completely wrong, but yes, go ahead, show me your DeviantArt, girl or boy. I'm sorry. Hey, we all learning still. We all still trying to figure out how to be better as artists. So you know what? No matter what skill level you at, just enjoy the process. And I'll be glad to take a look at it to see what you need help on. Oh, not safe for work. Hmm. Hmm. So far, what I could tell is that you have a very cohesive style. Like, it feels intentional. Like, the things that you're doing in your drawing feels intentional. However, comma, when it comes to anatomy, I almost feel like you have an idea in your head how you want it, but for a person outside looking in, it doesn't it wouldn't translate well to the untrained eye. It's basically what I'm saying. They'll basically ask why is her neck the top of her neck is wider than the bottom of her neck. They'll say certain things about the body where it's like, why is she shaped like that? And I can understand why. Because I understand how to push anatomy to its limits. Now, my suggestion to make this piece stronger is, for one, I'm noticing something here. The shoulders are uneven. The shoulders are noticeably uneven. In terms of the breast, I would like to see you put more definition in the breast, because I feel like in a piece like this, that could be a really good focal point. I would say work on making the breast sit more in 3D space and consider shading this as well. Now, it doesn't have to be realistic shading. It could be like cell shading, something I do. I do cell shading a lot. Um, the I will say this, even though you are going for a exaggerated anatomy, the torso is way too small, and it almost feels like her organs are kind of squished. I would say elongate the torso just a few, like, I don't know how to explain this. I would just say extend the torso to it feels about right. Usually, you can kind of just feel those things out, because typically her rib cage would not be so close to her pelvis. that would mean her intestines and everything and her heart would be like so compacted, and that's not necessarily realistic, even if it is exaggerated proportions. So that's what I mean. That's what I meant earlier when I was saying that um, drawings can be pushed. Well, anatomy can be pushed to its to whatever realm you want to take it to, but it also has to make sense. See, pushing anatomy is very technical. It's not just like haphazard at all. It takes a lot of technique and training your eye to figure out, if I make this longer, what would I have to make bigger or smaller or larger to make it more I guess cohesive is the word, to make it feel more, this person's anatomy fits them, if that makes sense. Um, Also, this is me. This is where I get tough now. This is where I get kind of mean, and I'm not trying to be mean. It's just something I've noticed, and it's something that I still do. So this is advice for myself as well. Please try not to hide your hands and arms and legs. If you can, try to, even if it's in a pose where you typically wouldn't see them, you still kind of see them, if that makes sense. You know, like, just look at poses. Find one similar to this. And I would suggest for this type of pose, for something sexual like this, I'd probably have her hands laying on her leg, like her thighs, as she's riding that dildo. Or like, just make it make it as often as possible that you try to show the hands instead of hiding them behind the character. Because that'll also increase your ability to draw hands. Because I see you have a little bit of the hand exposed, but it's so not well defined, even by cartoon standards. Even in cartoons, they have defined hands and how they work. If you were to animate this, you wouldn't. I wouldn't know how an animator who would take your drawing would animate that hand, because they'd probably be as confused as I am, and also confused as to why it's hidden. So that's my like critical thing about that. Other than that, I say everything else is fine. I see how you draw in the face is very your style, and I actually don't hate it. I actually love it. I want you to keep that aspect of the face. Maybe consider looking into certain artists who do this kind of face, but like they incorporate not this sort of face, what I'm trying to say, who do this type of style of face and emotion and expression. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Expression. Look into artists who do that, but ones that, even though it looks very cartoony, it still has a realism about them. I feel like that would be really good for you, because you have like the drawing style has a very nice appeal to it. At this point, I would just say work on trying to amplify and like correct certain things about your style, because it's very put together. Now at this point, since it's so put together, you have to go technical, and that's the hardest part about it. You have to go very technical. You have to study every day. You have to, unfortunately, and I hate doing this, but it has been proven to help me get better. You have to really go deep into realism and then come back to the cartoon side and take what you learned from realism and apply it to your cartoons. You'll see your cartoonish style, or semi-realistic style, or non-realistic style even. You could take that and input that into your artwork, and you'll still very much be you, but then you'll notice that it will improve so much better, and things will feel and sit and curve and move and flow in a way that it never has before, and it'll do wonders for your art. Okay, so let me get over that, because I just spent like a whole 10 minutes ranting. Not ranting, it was more like rambling. I spent like 10 minutes like rambling on how you can do that. But yeah, that's basically the advice I would give you. I hope I gave you what you were looking for, by the way. I hope that was good advice. You're very welcome. Listen, I had some mentors in the art community who just didn't, who trained me. They literally taught me from scratch and then just stopped helping me. So, like, I understand how it feels when people don't want to help you improve. That's why I try to help as many people as I can. I feel like that's so important. For one, to build confidence in the person that you're training, and two, if I could say that I helped someone, that makes me feel really good, to be honest, so. And you did not take away from my stream. I love giving advice. I'm just trying to properly time manage. So yeah, this is how you draw the butt. Should I do another butt? Should I draw another butt to really drive home the point? Or was this good enough? I'm gonna call this butt 1 then. If I'm gonna draw another one, I'm gonna make sure I label them. I actually have time. I'm just also trying to make sure I don't make the stream long as hell. But I could do one more butt. I have all the time in the world. I just don't want people to get bored while I'm drawing. Before I do that, however, I am going to save this. That's tutorial. And I am going to make sure people know that I'm streaming, first of all. Oh, excuse me. Don't mind me, I'm dying. Let me make another, let me make another thumbnail. I feel like that would be really good. Come on. There we go. Oh, sorry if I'm like really quiet. I have a really bad habit of just like focusing on one thing and not remembering that I'm live. I'm fine, I'm fine. I promise I'm fine. Hello! Welcome to the stream. I'm just making a quick thumbnail. As stated before, I made this music. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Cause you're not gonna catch your girl getting copyright strikes. I ain't the one. I'll raise hell before someone gives me a copyright strike. Alright, let me go change the thumbnail of this stream really quickly, and then we'll get back into drawing butts. But with a different pose. Oh, excuse me. How's the stream, by the way? Like, is it, like, laggy, or... Like, how is it? I'm very curious, because I can't necessarily check. I would love feedback about how it's looking. I expect there's a bit of a delay. That's fine. That if there's delay, as long as it's not like any big delay. Maybe I should go get that water. Ooh, we got 3 people watching, I think. Oh no, I think YouTube counts myself as well. Yep. Got me all excited. I'm like, 3 people? What? No, but that's just me. Now, what do I need? I need to grab the share link. That's right. Ah, here it is. I think at the 2-hour mark, I'm going to end the stream. Right now, the stream has been going on for 1 hour and 28 minutes. If there's things that you guys missed, you always can go back and rewatch it. It should be uploaded to my channel afterwards. Post this on all my social medias. They're trying to get that coin. I'm kidding. I don't even get coin from YouTube. YouTube won't let me get AdSense. Sad face. Oh, that's great. That's really great. Make sure you use a reference or a reference similar to your drawing. But I always want to say this, don't ever feel the need to change up your style because of what other people say. Like, keep your same style. I just really want to see, like, a really more polished artwork from you because I really like that photo. I mean, that picture that you showed me. I really think that you could really push it because your style is already so well put together. very well put together. You found what works. Now you just have to experience the technical side of art. Take your time. And oh, I'm sorry, don't cry. Please don't cry. Did I post this on Twitter? I think I did. Alright, let's get into the next butt. Let me check something really quick though. Okay, perfect. A. Let me find a really good butt picture. Damn it, where's all my butt? I have so many dick pictures. I don't even have any more butts. And I'm not trying to be showing dick. I'm not trying to be showing dick on YouTube. We ain't going down like that. I ain't finna have my channel striped. Damn, this is hard to find. This works. Nah. I feel like it's too similar to the other one. Let me find another one. This might work. We'll see. Let me see if I can find something a bit better. Oh, I like this one. Mm, I don't know though. My only issue is that I don't want to be showing full-on porn because all of my male references are pretty much naked. Let's do this one. This feels safe enough. Oh, where'd my chat go? Oh, here it is. Oh. Okay, so first, like I said before, I like to start off with getting the form of the torso down. Now I'm trying to pay attention to the curvature. Use a very light hand when you're doing this, because it just helps. Welcome back! Now, the lighting here is kind of tricky, and it's actually it's a possibility it might mess me up. But I'm confident we could achieve something with this. Now, I'm already noticing some mistakes I've made because I'm using a light hand and not putting such a harsh line down. I'm able to correct it quickly. Now I'm going to exaggerate this just a little bit, because that's what I'm known for. Alright, now let's handle this butt. So it's kind of like, we're kind of able to see both cheeks. So I'm kind of trying to measure how I'm going to... So I think what I'm going to do is something like this. Maybe that, yeah, that probably will help me. And then I can do So it would be at the tail end of this. And then this other side would be like this. No, for this, I probably have to be even looser than I was with the other one. Because I really don't... I have to really have to pay attention to what I'm doing, so I'm going to erase some of those lines and redraw over them. There we go. I think we got something. And always just feel it out. Like, if you feel like something's wrong, 9 times out of 10, it is. So you kind of have to go back and troubleshoot why it feels wrong to you. Now that I got that down, I know for a fact that this point, the end of the bud connecting to the thigh, kind of goes up this way. You could kind of see the indentation by the lighting. Not by much, because this is very, like, he's very shadowed right now, and, like, all the light is facing him in the front. But, like, if you look closely, you can see that there's, like, an indentation of where the thigh and the rest of the ass connects. So I'm going to lightly sketch that in. And gift this piece right here, which is kind of like the hip, but not real. It's the hip, I think. Yeah, it's the start of the hip. So you want to give this little space to give the hip like that. And then what I'm going to do is eyeball the thigh. Because I do want a more exaggerated look for this piece. I'm even going to bring this hip piece in just a tiny bit. And then draw the crotch. Now something feels off here, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. I think that was it. And just take your time. Like, you don't have to perfect it, but you also want to just take your time when you're doing your studies. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want it to resemble what you're referencing. Somewhat, at least. Now, because he's so covered in shadow, it's kind of hard for me to distinguish some of his body parts. It's okay to guess sometime. If you're really unsure and you're just like, bitch, I don't know how I'm gonna get the rest of this in, I would just say guess. Because 9 times out of 10, people won't notice that you just took a wild ass guess. And that's fine. Make sure it's an educated guess though. I'm going to quickly draw in his shirt. I feel like it adds something to the piece. It gives it some kind of form, which is pretty common. Clothes can give form to a lot of things. And at this point, when you get to a place where you feel like, okay, this is good enough for what I want to do, you could start giving the ass more definition. I'm just gonna make sure I separate the arm for the rest of the body. There we go. Okay, now that I have the thighs in, I can kind of erase the indent I made that connects them. This man has more of a juicy butt. It's kind of not chiseled like the bodybuilder. So I low-key don't have to draw in this little dip in his ass. In fact, I'm not even going to draw that dip in his ass. He does have definition in his thighs. I can kind of see it, so we're going to try to attempt to draw that as well. But a lot of this is going to be covered by shadow anyway. See, now I just almost made a mistake. I just tried to attempt to draw something that I can't see in the reference. If you don't feel like you can see, if you don't draw what you can't see, that's not in a reference. Just don't. Because you may take the knowledge that you do know about a certain thing and apply it to a piece that doesn't necessarily need that bit of knowledge that you know. Just follow what you're drawing. There. Now, that's as much definition I can currently give it, because this man is not, like, jacked. I don't think it would be right for me to, like, overdo the definition of his body without making it look weird. So, we're not. Now I'm just gonna lightly shade this. According to the light source of the reference. We have a little pin light action going on, so that'll be really fun to do. And remember, the size of your brush matters when it comes to shading. Bury it. See, I was able to draw in a whole muscle group using just shading. This is what I mean when I say shading can bring a piece together. Don't knock shading, bitch. She's been that girl. Oop. Brush too big. Hey Dre, welcome. I'm doing well. I'm just drawing for the peeps. Showing the peeps how to draw a butt. That's basically what I'm doing. Because people should learn. People should really learn how to draw a butt. So that's butt number 2. And with that, I'm going to call the stream because I'm pretty sure it's been more than 2 hours. I'm almost positive it's been more than 2 hours. It's been an hour, it's been 2 hours and 20 minutes. And as much as I love y'all, I don't want this to be a long ass stream. So yeah, that's how you draw a butt. So everything I talked about in this video, I think is very beneficial for you on how to draw a butt. And these are the tips that I use to draw a butt. But the best learning tool I can subscribe is always using reference. Because you can't go wrong with references. You really can't. References save lives. But yeah, I want to thank you all for coming. Dre, it's good to see you. Thank you, Candy Coda Disaster, for showing up. And thank you for showing me your artwork. I very much appreciate it. I love meeting new artists. I'm going to cut it from here. I'm Sago, the very artistic bitch. And I'm signing out.